Prepare to rethink everything you thought you knew. This is Mind Benders, your source for the most mind-twisting facts that will expand your understanding of the world. Let's bend some minds.
The hook and the enigma. What if I told you that a book exists that contains the complete, unabridged story of your life? Every word you've ever spoken, every secret you've ever kept, every thought you've ever had. It details your birth, your first steps, your greatest triumphs, and your most profound regrets. And somewhere on its final pages, it describes with perfect, unyielding accuracy the exact time, place, and circumstances of your death. Now, what if I told you this book is not unique? In the same place, there is another version of your biography, identical in every way, except for one single altered letter. And another where you made a different choice on a Tuesday morning 10 years ago, a choice that sent your entire existence down a different path. And another, for every possible life you could ever live. This isn't a riddle, it's a description of a place that has been imagined by mystics, contemplated by philosophers, and is now being proven plausible by the unsettling logic of mathematics and quantum physics. A place known as the Library of Babel. It contains everything that ever has been and everything that ever could be. And the most terrifying part isn't just that it might exist, but that we might already be inside it. The origin of an infinite idea. To understand this mind-bending concept, we must travel back to 1941, to the mind of the brilliant Argentine writer Jorge Luis Borges. In a short story, he imagined a universe in the form of a library, the Library of Babel. Its structure is precise, geometric, and eternal. It consists of an indefinite and perhaps infinite number of hexagonal galleries. In the center of each gallery is a ventilation shaft, and from any hexagon, one can see the floors above and below stretching on endlessly. Each wall of each hexagon holds 5 shelves. Each shelf holds 32 books, all of identical format. Each book has 410 pages. Each page has 40 lines, and each line has some 80 letters. The content of these books at first seems to be complete chaos, random strings of characters, meaningless noise. But the library's one fundamental law is what makes it so profound. The books contain every possible combination of the 25 orthographical symbols, 22 letters, the space, the comma, and the period. This one rule changes everything. It means the library is not chaotic, but complete, total. Within its shelves lies every book that has ever been written and every book that could ever possibly be written. The complete works of Shakespeare are there. A detailed history of a civilization is there. A cure for every disease is there. The true story of the universe's creation is there, as is every single possible false story. And of course, your biography is there. Every possible version of it. The mathematical nightmare. This seems like a fantasy, but it's grounded in the chillingly solid field of combinatorics. Let's break down the sheer soul-crushing scale of this concept. Borges specified 25 symbols. Each book has 410 pages, each with 40 lines of 80 characters. That's 1,312,000 character slots per book. The number of unique books in the library would therefore be 25 to the power of 1,312,000. This number is so colossal that it is physically impossible to write down. It has over 1.8 million digits. To put that in perspective, the number of atoms in the entire observable universe is estimated to be a number with only 80 digits. The Library of Babel is exponentially larger than our own universe. This mathematical certainty leads to a terrifying realization. For every one book of coherent truth, like a history of the Roman Empire, there are millions upon millions of nearly identical copies with a single error. One that says Rome was founded in 754 BC instead of 753. And billions more that are just gibberish. The vast, overwhelming majority of the library is pure, meaningless noise. Imagine sifting through this cosmic static. For every coherent sentence, you would have to read through texts that are the equivalent of 1 billion monkeys typing on 1 billion keyboards for 1 billion years. The truth is in there. The answers to all our questions are in there. But they are buried, drowned in an ocean of meaninglessness so vast that finding them is a statistical impossibility. The library contains all knowledge, but it confers no wisdom. It is the ultimate paradox of information. The existence of everything means that, for all practical purposes, you have nothing. Part 4. The human element and the promised payoff. Borges didn't just describe a mathematical structure. He described the psychological horror it would inflict on its inhabitants, the librarians. At first, they were optimistic. They believed that since all knowledge was present, all problems could be solved. Expeditions were sent out to find the catalog of catalogs, a single book that would index all the others. Others, known as purifiers, sought to destroy the millions of nonsensical books, believing they were abominations. This, of course, was a futile and destructive task. Other cults formed around single meaningless books, treating them as prophetic texts and building entire religions on a foundation of pure chance. The most common affliction was a profound, soul-crushing despair. The realization that any human lifespan was laughably insufficient to find even a single line of coherent text. They were prisoners in a universe of infinite possibility, yet shackled by their own finite existence. Their search for meaning was rendered meaningless by the sheer volume of meaninglessness. And it is right here that this concept transcends from a century-old short story into a cutting-edge scientific and philosophical dilemma. Because the universe described by Borges, a system containing all possible combinations of a set of elements, bears a stunning and deeply unsettling resemblance to the universe described by modern physics. This isn't just a metaphor anymore. The fundamental laws of our cosmos, from the digital nature of information to the bizarre realities of the quantum realm, point to a conclusion that is hard to accept. The Library of Babel may be the best model we have for the ultimate nature of reality itself. The connection is startling, and when you see it, it will change everything you think you know about your place in the cosmos.
The scientific revelation. Let's start with information. Everything you are experiencing right now, this video, the device you're on, your own thoughts, can be broken down into information. Bits, ones and zeros. A digital file, like a song or a photo, is just a specific sequence of these bits. Now, consider a sufficiently long string of random bits. A long enough string must, by mathematical necessity, contain every possible file. It would contain every song ever composed, every photo ever taken, and a perfect digital simulation of your life. The universe, at its most fundamental level, appears to be made not of matter or energy, but of information, quantum information. This leads us to the quantum realm and the many worlds interpretation. This theory, a serious solution to the paradoxes of quantum mechanics, suggests that every time a quantum event has more than one possible outcome, the universe splits. All possible outcomes happen, just in separate parallel universes. A particle can be here or there. In one universe it's here, in another it's there. This creates a multiverse, an infinitely branching tree of realities. This entire structure, this multiverse, contains every single possible history of the universe, every possible outcome of every event. It is, in essence, a library of entire worlds. The Library of Babel, but instead of books, the shelves are lined with complete universes. In one of them, the dinosaurs never went extinct. In another, you are the emperor of Earth. And in countless others, you don't exist at all. Then there is cosmology. If the universe is infinite, as many current models suggest, then a simple law of statistics takes over. In an infinite space, any event with a non-zero probability must occur. Not just once, but an infinite number of times. This means that somewhere out there, in the unfathomable distances of space, there is a planet identical to Earth. And another one, where everything is the same, except you chose a different breakfast this morning.
Your doppelganger isn't a myth. In an infinite universe, it's a statistical certainty. There are infinite versions of you, living out every conceivable permutation of your life. This is no longer Borges' fiction. This is the staggering logical conclusion of our own scientific theories. The universe of all possibilities is not just a concept. It is the reality we are a part of. We are living inside one of the books. The profound conclusion and the final twist. So what does this mean? It means the line between fiction and reality, between possibility and actuality, is far blurrier than we ever imagined. The structure of Borges' library, once a literary curiosity, now serves as the most powerful metaphor for our own existence. We are adrift in a sea of infinite information, a cosmos of infinite possibilities. We are characters in one book, on one shelf, in one gallery of an infinite library. The life you are living is but one version of the story. All other versions, the triumphs you just missed, the tragedies you narrowly avoided, are playing out in parallel volumes. But here is the final, most profound twist. In Borges' story, the greatest myth, the ultimate hope, was the search for a single book called the Catalogue of Catalogues. A book that would serve as a perfect index to the entire library. A book that would explain the library itself, providing the key to finding all the truth and filtering out all the noise. Most believed it didn't exist. What is humanity's greatest scientific quest? It is the search for a theory of everything, a single elegant set of equations that would govern all the forces of the cosmos, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy. A theory that would explain the universe. We are searching for the Catalogue of Catalogues. This leaves us with one final haunting question that cuts to the very core of our being. The librarians were driven mad because their lives were finite in an infinite library. They could never read all the books. But we have a different problem. If every possible path we could ever take, every choice, every success, every failure, is already written down and sitting on a shelf in this cosmic library, what does it mean to choose? Is your free will an illusion? Is the act of living not about writing your own story, but merely about the process of finding the book that has already been written for you? The library is infinite, the possibilities are endless, and your story is already there, waiting to be read.
The world is full of fascinating paradoxes, isn't it? We hope today's facts truly bent your mind. If you're ready for more daily revelations that challenge the norm, subscribe to Mindbenders. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a new video. Until next time, keep questioning.